All right, here we are. We're live. I'm Paul.
I'm Devin.
And we are Dads and Dice, and we're here for our month in review 1 week early.
Yeah. Also, make sure we don't have like super reverb.
Yeah, I don't think we do. We're using the other microphones this time, not the super good ones. So, hey, John, good to see you.
John's going to show up on this list.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Make a guest appearance.
Yep. He was saying that y'all are going to play Fate of the Fellowship on Monday. If you're there on Monday, I'm not sure if you're there on Monday.
I'm not there.
Oh, okay. So they were going to play.
I did not know we were playing that. Okay.
They are going to play Fate of the Fellowship.
Sweet.
Hey, Pat.
We're going to talk about Fate of the Fellowship.
You know, now that I think about it, I didn't put Dark Tower on here. You didn't send me that game, and just thought of it. So
okay, we'll like caveat it in there.
Yeah, that will be in there for sure. Yeah. As soon as you said that, I was like, wait, I didn't save that picture. I knew you played it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't on the list you sent me. So, John, you are on the list.
Yeah.
But
we'll talk about you. I must have forgot.
I saw the picture also. Now talking about it, we remember. So, but yeah,
everyone but Devin is playing.
Everyone but Devin is playing. Yep.
You guys are like knocking out the co-ops, John. I like it. So, hey, has anybody played it yet? Because we just played it and we're going to talk about it. But it is awesome.
How is the sync up of our voices? Are our mouths moving before the voices? I'm not sure. I've been having issues with that lately. So, how does our mouth look with the sound? Look at us closely.
Does it look like an Asian dub movie?
The last couple edits that I've done, I've had to like cut stuff off to like make it fit in right. It's been such a pain.
Interesting.
Yeah, the sync is off. Okay, well.
Just don't look at our
looks
mouth.
Okay.
We'll talk like this.
Only like 1980s Godzilla. Yeah, it's generally okay in playthroughs because people don't look at our face.
Yeah.
But on this one, it's weird. So, well, let me see. Maybe I can try to fix it real quick.
Yeah, Paul's tech guy. I'm not even going to pretend like I know what's going on.
Sync offset. Let's try that and see how that sounds. Maybe that's a little bit better. I don't know. Or if it made it worse, I'm going to have to go the other direction.
Yeah, wouldn't negative be slower?
Well, so that's the thing. I don't know if our voices, if it's early or if it's late, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm unsure of.
I see.
And when you're doing it yourself, it's hard to stare at yourself and like try to do stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot better to do live. So,
yeah.
But yeah, we have 38 games actually. I missed one. And now I just realized I missed another one on there. The video is late. Okay, so let's try this now. Maybe that's better. We'll see. But yeah, so we've got 38 games. We did a Halloween at the first of the month. Oh
my goodness, I forgot all about that.
I completely forgot about that too. It's transcoding for offset probably. It's funny. Video's way behind now. Okay, video's way behind now. So we're just going to go there, and hopefully that's a little bit better. I think you have to make actual noises to see. We'll leave it there. If it's super bad, just let me know, and I'll go back to what I was at the beginning. But yeah, so we had Halloween where we got the wives together and us, and we played, I think, 3 games, maybe 4. I don't remember. But a couple of the ones on the list, I was like, we definitely didn't play that. We did. I remember playing it now. And then we had our con last weekend where we got a bunch in.
Yeah,
so we'll go ahead and start talking about them here with our first one. That is Assyria 2nd edition.
Yeah.
I got this one in, I think, the Tuesday before the con, maybe the Monday.
Yeah, that sounds right. Mine was like sitting on my
patio
where we put packages that come in.
Where you put all of your stuff.
Yeah, I had a whole bunch of games there coming back from the con, so that was sweet.
Hey, Patrick. Yeah, Thanksgiving was good. Hopefully yours was good too. But yeah, so we got Assyria in, and I texted Devin and I said, hey, would you want to play this one? I think this one would be better at 3 than at the normal 2 that we play, and I think that was a good call to get it played at 3.
Interesting. Thinking about the game, cannot see it playing different at any of the player counts.
So, okay, I say that. before we like kind of get into it, Assyria is a uh, not really area
It's like an
control
action
kind of
selection
game.
type of game,
Yeah, it's
really.
action selection where there's 11 different actions, and based on you have these little huts. There's this expansion phase, and you put these huts out. Um, and those huts determine how many action points you get, which later during the action phase you will use those action points to do one of the 11 actions. Um, so for the 3-player game, they blocked off one section of the board, I believe is what it was, or one row of the board. And I think for 2 players, you block off 2 sections, or maybe it's 4, something like that. I don't remember exactly. But I wonder if it blocks off a lot of the food that you have to go on there. Like, do you have more options for food in a more player game than you do like in a 2-player or a solo?
I
Um,
mean, technically, you see the same amount of extra cards, but you do see more cards per player count, right? Like, so you always
mm-hmm,
see 3 extra cards,
mm-hmm.
but I guess technically you see more cards the higher the player count, which can make it actually balances it more,
Okay.
whereas it can be more swingy at a lower player count. Does that
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Because like the odds of you getting all ones at a 4-player game when you have 8 food cards is very low,
Mm-hmm.
but the odds of you having all ones through, or technically 10 cards in a 4-player game, the odds of you having a bunch of ones when you're only seeing 6 cards is much higher. So
Yeah.
it could be swinging your both ways that way. Like
I
you
can
have a
see
whole
that.
bunch of food, and so like nobody really cares about the bidding, or vice versa, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
um, the but then again, the argument actually could be the same at a 2-player where you have a 1-1-3 and then a 1-1-4, and now you're really bidding for
For
the
that 4.
7
Yeah.
food versus 2 on either of the other slots. So I don't know. I guess I'd have to play it, but I just felt like after having played the game myself, I was like, this is going to be no different at any of the player counts, right?
Yeah.
Besides the bidding, it's not like we were really competing for that many spaces. Like maybe it happened
Mm-hmm.
twice throughout the game,
Yeah.
and it
Because there
was
was a
easy
couple
to
times.
pivot.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's like, oh, I was going to go for that, great, but like I'll just do
I'll
this one
get this
over
one and then get a
here,
wild kind of
right?
thing. Yeah.
And then the way you like start your ziggurats, like that's going to be where your wells are. Like
Mm-hmm. You're
you're
not
not
going
gonna
to
expand
expand.
across the map to decide I'm gonna place my wells over here. It's just not the way it works. But
Yeah. I thought it was interesting. I did really like the bidding mechanic in it. The fact that you were bidding your victory points was really interesting. I thought like it made it feel pretty significant. I think at the beginning Joe was bidding like a lot of his victory points, and he was like kind of gaining them back, and then he would just kind of go back to where he started. So that little fluctuation was pretty cool.
yeah, I did it. I think I almost always was okay to bid points.
Yeah.
Like, um, yeah, it was neat.
And then I liked in the 3rd and 6th round, I like how this game, and it pretty much tells you in the rule book also, is like, don't get married to your locations because they're going to get wiped out. So, like, I thought that was really cool how you build up your territory or whatever, and then it just, the river comes, wipes it out, and then you're not starting over because you still might have your wells and all those other things. But it just kind of gives you like a fresh start of, all right, now start building off of these sections. So I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was going to be a lot, before I played this game, I thought it was going to be a lot more area control than what it really is. And I thought the bidding was going to be a little bit more than what it really is also. So overall, I was pleasantly surprised. It's still very much a Euro with just a couple of different, bidding and area on there. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? But yeah, I thought it was good. Definitely want to play it some more for sure.
yeah, that's where I'm at. I want to play it. My like biggest hesitation with this game was I got completely unpunished and was able to basically do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Why I felt like pure luck, right? I was focused on getting gold and making the sacrifice or whatever
Mm-hmm.
it was called, track, right? And like I went all in on that early, building out the ziggurat to do that early, which meant I couldn't do other things. And then like one of the whatever they were, not tribes or maybe they weren't trying, but one of the people, civilizations that came out, basically let me do the offerings track. And so I just hammered it, and I was able to peg both tracks, right? And so to me, it just felt like, I'm telling you, like I was able to take advantage, and so, but it was luck, right? I didn't know that was coming. I didn't even know that was a card in the deck. So like on the opposite end, talking about Joe there,
he was pegging the
yeah, he went all in on the offerings track. And I was able to be all in on this one, and it let me be all in on the other one. So I don't know. To me, it was just like, well, I got to do everything, and I don't think that was how it was supposed to be. And I'm like, kind of a bit worried. Like,
and I wonder if that was just the way that those civilizations.
Yeah, I mean, right. If it had come out in the first round, it would have been totally different because I didn't have that full engine on. But once I did, right, I can't remember. I had the best conversion where I was getting, I think I spent 2 camels to get 3 gold. And then I basically was just chunking my camels to go up the offering, which was then letting me go up both tracks. So, and then it moved up and I did it again, and it moved up and I did it again. So I don't know. I just want to play it again because for that reason, I kind of like walked away being like, well, I just like
did everything I wanted to do
in the game.
I don't remember the scores for that one. I feel like it was relatively close. I don't think there was a big runaway.
Yeah, I'll say on that, I don't think that game can ever be, I won't say runaway is the right term, because I do kind of think whoever is leading after the first flood could very well just still be leading after the second. There's not going to be any catch up. There's not going to be there's nothing that's going to like change drastically. But it'll always look close on paper, right? Like that runaway will be, they were 3 points ahead after the first flood, and they are 6 points ahead after the second, right? Like the score is going to be very tight.
Yeah. Oh, good job, Patrick. Finally got Vantage. What other games have you gotten? Also, anybody else in the chat, what games did y'all get for any good sales that you got? Yeah, I could see that with Assyria. I don't know. I'm interested to see how the solo plays. It seems to be like a smart solo also on there, kind of like a better than like a Ezra and Nehemiah, who's not just doing random stuff. So we'll see. Overall, I think it was good. I think we just both need to play it some more. All right, Beyond the Horizon.
Beyond the Horizon. So Joe and I played this. This was like a on the whim game. So I did not realize Joe had looked into this game prior to the con. I'd never heard of this game. Never knew anything about it. I was looking at a totally different game that we're about to talk about here in a second, and they were stacked on top of each other. And so I picked this one up because I was grabbing the other one, and I just started looking at it, and then Joe was like, I don't know, he said something. Basically, he had looked somewhat into the rules, and he had said, this is the, the next game after Beyond the Sun. I'm like, oh, that's interesting enough to me. Anyway, long story short, this was kind of a letdown. It was not at all as good as Beyond the Sun. It was in no way tight of a game. You had resource after resource. You can do whatever you wanted. I completely maxed out the entire research track, like literally all but one space. It was that was it.
Complete letdown.
Yeah, it was bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember playing Beyond the Sun and enjoying it enough. I know Joe really, really liked that one. I think you liked it quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
When you guys first said that y'all played Beyond the Horizon, I knew this was kind of the secondary one, or like the secondary whatever, the sequel to it. And I was a little let down that you guys played it without me. But then after hearing y'all's thoughts, just kind of like, okay, that's fair.
You did not miss.
Yeah.
And so apparently there's a big balance issue with the asymmetric power, whatever they call them, the civilizations or whatnot. That was a known thing. Joe and I did not go into hard research of the errata. First and foremost, there's an official thing released from the people to just throw them out. Don't play with them.
Oh,
but
wow.
That's the big thing is you have so we tried to play the ones that were known not to be
super broken.
Yeah, super broken. Now, whether we did or didn't, I don't know. But I can see that was the whole reason. Those powers were why we just had everything we needed.
Yeah,
Powers
that's
gave
fair.
me the coins, and his gave him the people, and so we just never had to. You didn't care about any resources. It's just you got to do whatever action you wanted to do because you always had the resources to do it.
That's fair.
So it was a big letdown of a game.
Joe's giving it a C minus. So Joe, keep up ranking all the games in there.
Yeah, that's
how's it going, Michael?
Quite the scale. I don't know.
It's like school. That's what it is. That's how I'm taking it.
Yeah. So is that A plus to C minus, and then there's just D and F. So we're gonna
is quite a big
with
scale.
11,
right.
11 rankings in there.
That is a big scale. Let's see. Patrick picked up the Anarchy and Peaks. Jeff, which Final Girls did you get? Also, Ada's Dream. We saw that one quite a bit at the con. That's one that I would wish to play at some point soon. Black Forest. So we've been playing Glass Road the last couple, last month, and then early this month. This was kind of the re-implementation of that. So really in this Black Forest, what it does is it takes the resource wheel from Glass Road, but it removes all of the card play from it. It makes it a worker placement game to where there's a town and you move your worker around the town, and at the town there's different actions that you can do. You still have your little player board where you build out the buildings on there. You're still collecting resources. A new resource that they have is, I forget what it's called, but it's a little satchel. They do have a wagon also that lets you pretty much move anywhere. No, it lets you move one action somewhere else.
Kind of forces the progression of the game.
Yeah, and then the satchel, I forget what it is. It's provisions, maybe something like that. But it's what allows you to move across the town. I like this one a lot. I thought it was really good. I think I prefer this one to Glass Road. As you guys know, I really like the card play in Glass Road, but I'm not a card play kind of person. It's just something that I'm not very good at. But the worker placement in this one it felt really good. This one does not have any set rounds or anything like that. It ends once your provisions track gets to a certain point on the resource. So about halfway through the game, I looked over and I saw that Devin's strategy kind of was forcing him to rush the game. So I knew kind of the game would be coming to an end relatively soon. So I was able to do my actions based on that. So I feel like you had to be a little bit more aware of what your neighbors were doing in this one. Overall, I really liked it. I thought it was a really good game. I would definitely play it again for sure.
Yeah, I'm tainted because we played Glass Road. Had I not played Glass Road, I thought this was good. I'm on the opposite end. I really enjoy the way the card play works in Glass Road, where you have to guess what opponents are doing and take those cards, but you also have to balance it between the cards you actually want to play as a free action versus the ones you're hoping to get the double action for. I think there's just more actual game in Glass Road versus the worker placement on this is pretty open. It's not like
it's more forgiving.
Somebody goes to your spot, it really does not matter at all. There's either the spot right next to it that's going to be just as close as what you want to do, or there's somewhere else on the board that can also do what you want to do. I just personally like Glass Road better, and that therefore it like taints this because I'm like, well, that to me is the better version.
Yeah, Michael, we played this one at 3 also, so no dummy player. This one is just a more forgiving game. I feel like you get to do what you want to do. You're never forced to really do anything else. But honestly, for my gameplay, that's generally what I like better. So, that was Black Forest.
Botanist, not even worth talking about. I can only halfway remember the game. You're like getting flowers. I don't know. It was not even worth talking about. This game was very bad. Don't even look into it.
I didn't play it, so I have nothing to say. Oops. Oh, come on.
Oh
no.
That's how bad Botanist was.
Right, all right, 1 second. Hit the wrong button. Oh. There we go. Broom service. total banger, real good game. We played this first.
Yeah.
Before, yeah. This has the same card play
Same card play as
Glass Road. Yeah.
It's like a forced follow mechanic. So both of them work the exact same way. At the beginning of the round, you select out of roughly 12 cards. I don't remember how many exactly, 10 to 12. You select a handful of cards. I think it's 4 in both. No, it's 5 in Glass Road, 4 in this. And you go around playing them, but if somebody plays the same card that you're holding in your hand, you have to play it, and then you both get a weaker version of that action. This one was delivering potions to keeps, is I think what it was. I don't actually know what the theme was, but enjoyed it. Again, same card play as Glass Road. It's Glass Road has a little bit more gaminess. Quite a bit more gaminess now that I think about it, but both a lot of fun.
So what was really cool about this one, which you didn't mention, was that each card that you play has 2 different actions on them. So you can be a brave, wilderness, whatever, or you can be is it weak? I don't remember. Cowardly, that's what it is. So you can be a brave whatever or a cowardly whatever. And if you choose to be cowardly, then the next person can choose, if they have that card, they can choose to be brave or cowardly.
And if you choose to be cowardly, you guarantee getting to do an action. It's just the weak version.
It's just the weak version. And if you choose to be brave, if anybody else after you has that same card, you do not get an action, and they get to choose if they get to be brave or cowardly. And then that also determines who's going to be the first player for the next round. So that was really fun. That was interesting. It had this little kind of push your luck mechanic to it.
Yeah, and I was in a complete gimp spot. Kirsten was to my right, therefore she always got to choose. No, she was in the gimp spot. She was to my right, and so she always chose before me. And me and Kirsten had like the exact same strategy from beginning to end of this game. Multiple times we shared all 4 of our cards that were identical. So we just kept stepping on each other.
Yeah, you just kept messing with each other. And I was able to do pretty much my own thing for the most part. I don't know. It was just super funny. Just like the little act of just saying like, I am going to be the brave weather person or whatever. Like that was just a lot of fun. And it was, we played it the day after Halloween. So it had that little witch feel to it. It was really good. It was honestly a surprise one that we've had in your collection. So, John, I did not realize that it was out of print. But if you do get the chance to play it, definitely recommend it. Yeah. Jeff, you're new to Final Girl. 12 of them. The BG Con and Stranger Thingish ones. The BG Con one looks pretty cool. And I didn't know. Oh, yeah, the Stranger Things one. I think that one's like at a mall or something like that.
Yeah, speaking of Stranger Things, I'm just going to lay out my Stranger Things opinion. I'm just ready to be done with this show. It has drug on for so long. This season just launched, if anybody so not aware. And I'm just like, at this point, I'm like watching it because we're 5 seasons in. Because you're 5 seasons in. And I'm like, let's just get through this. But like Lacey brought up, this is probably 2 months ago. She was like, hey, they're coming up the last season of Stranger Things. Do you want to rewatch it all? And I was like, heck no. Zero way do I want to. We watched a 20-minute YouTube cap before starting.
That's a great idea.
This season to remember and fill us in, because I'm like, honestly, and they were showing stuff from the first couple of seasons. I'm like, yeah, I completely forgot about that person existing.
When did that show come out?
So we looked this up. It came out in 2016.
Oh, wow. Okay. So 9 years ago.
So it was 2016, 2017, 2019, 2022. And now I remember that gap being forever. And then 2025. So, it's
Wait, 22 was the last time one came out?
Yes.
No way.
So, yeah. So I'm just like, man, I want to watch these 8 episodes and forget about this show. Plus, honestly, my opinion, the last season was so much of a stretch with everything that was happening. That I'm like, just end. Anyway.
Yeah, I feel pretty similar to it, but I have no problem giving up on it. So I don't know if I'll watch the other ones. But Michael's right. Money.
Yeah, that's you're right. Money. That's a great reason, right? Because Netflix takes this huge stance of no more than 3 seasons for
Yeah.
anything, and then this show's a complete banger, and they're like, and
we will do 5
and
seasons.
more. And these high school kids are now 37 years old, but still
11 is 25.
Yeah, but still high schoolers, So.
Hey Ian, how's it going? Camel Cup.
Camel Up.
Camel Up.
It's definitely Camel Up.
This one,
in case anybody is not aware.
Camel Cup is just as good.
Yeah. What month are we?
We're in November, so.
Yeah, so when did we play this? What event were we at that we played this? Because I played with Derek and Hannah and Lacey in Denver. I don't remember.
Was it at Halloween something? No, you guys hung out on Halloween.
No, that's right. It was in November. It was our family weekend.
Okay.
So we always go out, and we always bring a ton of games. I actually think this is the only one that I can remember that we played. We just, honestly, nobody felt like it, right? Including myself. We run around all day. Once the kids go to bed, we're all just kind of like, I think I'd rather just sit here.
Let's just stare at our phones.
Yeah. So anyway, we played Camel Up. It was a great time. It always is a great time. Lots of laughs. So anyway.
Yeah. That's a good game. I like that one. Haven't played it in a while. Sentry. So Kirsten and I actually got to play this one on stream last week, I believe. This is just favorite game. Love this one. Actually, we just went to Madness Comics on Wednesday. I still don't have the third one in this series. I'm not really interested in getting it. The only reason that we talked about possibly getting it is to do one mega game of all three of them together. But yeah, we'll probably just do that at a con sometime or whatever. I might pick it up someday. But this one is just a classic. It's just a very quick game that once both you and the people that are playing with it know how to play, it just plays really quick. It's just a good game. Just really like it. Production quality is awesome. And I'll play this game anytime. So I was really happy to get it actually played again on the table, not just on BGA. So really like Sentry.
Civolution.
Joe, what did you rate this game, first of all, if you're still there?
Yeah, I want to know Joe's letter grade for Civolution. Yeah. So we've talked about this game. We both really like this game. I think this is a phenomenal game. Joe suggested we play this game at
So he sent a text out before the con,
and this was one of the ones he wanted to play. And I know this game, and I know this is not a Joe Gerba game. Mm-hmm. Sorry, doc shit there, buddy. Anyway, and I was like, interesting. And then he was like, hey, I want to borrow it to play the solo. So like in my head, that told me, oh, Joe has researched this game, right? Well, Joe likes civilization
games.
And he got fooled like many people, and the name of this is Civolution, and assumed this was a civilization game, and it's not.
This is a civilization simulation game,
themed game, ish. And so anyway, played it at 3. I thought it was great at 3. Mm-hmm. I would play it at 3 anytime. I just think this game is really fun. This is the definition of a sandbox. You are given, I don't even know how many actions, 20 actions.
Sounds about right.
And just told go. Go and score points, and everything you do will score points. Some things more than others based on the game setup, but ultimately that's it. And had a lot of fun.
Yeah, the only civilization that the game has is you are procreating. That is one of the actions, so you're getting more people.
I mean, the idea is you build stuff, or you
you explore, you build stuff.
It may not necessarily be a human civilization. You get antennas, or
I had
horns.
You did, and you kept horning me. That sucked. I had a pouch, so anytime I moved, I could carry an extra person with me. No, I think this is a really fun game. Jeff, I would agree with you. This is an A tier game for sure. I think you and I both talked about it at the end of last year. We played this right after we had made our 2024 list. It would have been on both of our lists. Just barely missed the cutoff there. But it's just a fun one. This is the first time that I didn't really explore, and I thought that was pretty cool. I was kind of doing a little bit of everything, so I didn't focus on one thing. But it's cool to just it's like a feast for Odin, right? You can just do one thing, and if you stick to it, you're gonna get points. It doesn't matter what you do. Uh, the easiest way to play is probably just do what the objectives are telling you to do every round. But other than that, it's a really fun one. We've played it at 2. It took us about 3-ish hours. We played it at 3. It took 3-ish hours. So I think that's just kind of what this game will play at, and that's a good time for this weight of game.
Yeah, so, absolutely. And Jeff's right. I think that actually is the theme. You're
yeah, that is exactly what it is.
A final exam.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what it is. So no, it was fun. I liked it a lot.
Curious Cargo. So before Paul could make it to the con, Joe and I got to play some games, and we played this one. This game I've had for a little bit. It was neat. It was this head-to-head duel-like game where you're building out these pipes in order to deliver to trucks to then ship to the other person in hopes that they actually don't build out pipes to receive it, but you can. I'm building out pipes to ship things to Joe, and then I'm receiving the stuff Joe is shipping and having to build out pipes to receive in what he is shipping over to me. Really, really neat. Very cool concept. Several different ways you can trade into the game, whether it's like shipping the most stuff or receiving the most stuff, or I can't remember what the other couple options are. But anyway, just a lot of fun. Really a neat little game that I would definitely play again. We both walked away being like, oh, that was fun.
So what really surprises me about this is a small box game, right? It's a little Seven Wonders dual size box. This is a 3.2 weight. I would say that's a pretty meaty game for that kind of box.
It's probably just because it's hard to do well.
So that's
anytime you're building out routes of something,
yeah,
that's going to be difficult to do well, because actions are not difficult. The actions are take tiles or play tiles. And that's your only decision actions in the game. I can't even remember. You have 3 actions, and that's what you do. You either use an action to take a tile, or you use an action to play a tile, and that is it. So it's not like it's not like a 3.2 because you're making a whole bunch of decisions and that kind of stuff. It's more because it's visually very hard to connect pipes over to. I need to connect pipes over to this stuff, and I need to connect pipes receiving in on this way. And so it's more of the spatial laying out puzzle. I would say it's harder on that end of things.
So we'll come back and talk about this one a little bit later after another one of our games that shares a very similar mechanic. Jeff says, does it have a shared board?
You each have identical boards, and they butt up next to each other. And the reason you do that because there can be some variety of where your shipments come out of. So there's actually a ton of different boards for varieties game to game. But so I don't know how to explain it. When I'm shipping on a truck, if I am putting something in the number 4 slot, that will be on Joe's number 4 receiving slot. So it lines up that way, right? If it's in my 7 shipping, it's in his 7 receiving.
Okay.
So if you look at a picture, it makes a whole lot of sense of how they
interesting
smash up next to each other.
Dark Ages Heritage of Charlemagne. That's it. I'm gonna say this game is Voidfall Light.
Yeah,
that's what this game is. It is a 4X game in the same way that Voidfall is. You are exploiting the land, you are exploring, you are exterminating the people there, and whatever the 4th E is, or 4th X is.
Exploration.
I think we do this every time we talk about 4X. But it's a action selection game where you had, I think, 5 actions. And it's just basic stuff. It's just movement, getting technologies, upgrading your
Yeah, it's 5.
technologies, uh, fighting, just basic stuff. But what was really cool about it was you have these tokens, and I think you have 4 of them.
Sounds
I
right.
had 3 because I started the game the first round. But you put them out there, and if somebody else goes on top of you, they get to do the action. And then if another token goes on top of you, there will be a stack of 3. As soon as there's a stack of 3, the person whose token is on the bottom gets a secondary action: explore, expand, exploit, exterminate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get this secondary action, which can be, as good as one of the top ones. You can recruit more people, or you gain some type of resource like your iron or whatever. This game looks like a total dudes on the map game, but it's really not. It's a lot deeper than that. It's a Euro 4X. I don't know. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it's a very much like Scythe, in that you expand out doing your own thing, and you're not super rewarded for attacking, right? Like, so in Scythe,
Mhm.
you're rewarded for attacking at most twice, but that's it. In this, it's kind of the same thing. Like, you can take somebody's land. The problem is
It's hard.
it's hard, and most of the time they can clap back, right? Like, it's very rare that you'd be able to. You're going to endure losses in the take, which will then put you into a position where they can just on their turn, like, well, and I just
And I'm
attack
just going to
back,
attack you. Yeah.
right? And then it ends up being a somewhat wasted action for yourself. There are some victory points to be gained if you do a kind of bigger attack on their capital late game, but most of the time that's also hard to get to because their capital is probably deeper into their land. But anyway, yeah. So there's several paths to victory in this game. So the game can be triggered over. There's a track. It's called a culture track. So making it to the end of the culture track,
upgrading 4 of your
4
technologies,
of your potentially 7 technologies,
upgrading them 3 times,
building out on the map. So you can go a strategy of just, I'm going to build a bunch. I think that's Paul. He built a ton and got a lot of points off of his buildings that way. And so there's a whole lot of paths, and that's what I don't know. I thought it was cool. I would really like to play it again. And it has your Ameritrash dice randomness. Now, unfortunately, in our playthrough, Joe, who typically is our Ameritrasher, man, he just got set back from the beginning, and there was like 0 recovery from it. He basically had to make the same attack going from one zone to the next zone. I think, if I had to guess, it was 6 to 8 times until it was successful. The first couple, it was like coin flips. Okay, you lost some coin flips. He then reinforced and did it to where he had the advantage and lost a couple times that way, and then finally got it. So unfortunately, it just was at that point, because it's a Euro game. That's 4 extra actions we got to do of something different that he just kind of was always on the back foot for.
Yeah, and in this one, we all started fairly centralized, right? And you and Joe decided to go the south, and I went to the north, which pretty much just left me open up to, all that land up there. But it was really cool. I really liked how you could gather the resources by building your buildings out there and attaching them to it. It was really cool. I liked it a lot. I was very pleased with it. Ezra and Nehemiah. So I got to play this one towards the beginning of the month. It had just been a very long time since I played it, and that showed in my playthrough. I did have to kind of gloss through the rule book again. I think it had been over a year since I played it. But it was still good. It was a very good game. I made a couple mistakes with the altar over there. I was donating charcoal to them instead of wood and gold, instead of burning the charcoal in the altar. Did that a couple times. Still ended up winning pretty handedly, even with those mistakes. I feel like that wouldn't have given me that much more of an advantage throughout the game. But it was a interesting setup that I had, and we've talked about it before with this game. The scrolls that you have, that's really the trajectory that you should take in the game, is lining them up. So this one was interesting. I didn't have like anything that completely synced really well together, except for stuff over there on the altar, not the altar track, the sacrifices, whatever it is. Um, so I didn't really have like super good synergies in it, but the game just feels good. I really like building out the tableau and covering the cards and just knowing when is the right time to cover up these symbols and when is the right time to tuck this card because you're not going to use it anymore. I actually use the trades a lot more than I normally do, and those are definitely something that you need to utilize throughout the game. So it was good. I definitely need to play it again before another year goes past so I don't forget it anymore. But it was really good. I think this one is, I'm going to say this is probably my favorite ancient game that they've put out. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I actually can't think of any of the ancient games that come close to this one.
Here you go, John, if you're still there.
Yeah, John, look forward to playing Fate of the Fellowship coming up, because Joe and I played this and had a complete blast. It is very much, if you know Pandemic, you know, we'll call it the core of this game, but it is its own totally different thing. And we just enjoyed it. And I'm like so amazed at the amount of variability and probably replayability that is in this box. You have, I don't know how many of characters there were, 10, 12 different characters. There must have been a stack of like 20 different quests. You only play with 3 each game, and that is going to make every single game like different in the goals and the routes that you go. And it was just, man, it was a lot of fun. And I think the way the enemy deck works is just so smart. I have not played all of the Pandemics between Pandemic and this, right? They have Clone Wars, WoW.
I didn't realize they had a WoW one.
I think they have a WoW one.
I think yeah, they might.
I'm pretty positive they do. You're making me doubt that.
I'm sure they do,
but I'm pretty sure they got a WoW one. I don't know. They have several, and you can tell, like, I'm sure they've tweaked the system, and I got to play the best system that is out so far.
Oh, Wrath of the Lich King. That's right.
And so, I don't know. It was so much fun. And I think the best part was, truthfully, that from the beginning, you control 2 characters, right? So, like, you have 2 characters, each with unique abilities, right? Instead of just, like, whatever, Pandemic being the medic, like, I'm being the guy, right? And so, like, one of my characters was Legolas, which was basically the medic. He was the ping off a like, person type of thing, you know? So I had that ability, and then I had, a whole nother character. It was fun. It was really cool. Our gameplay was very, we're going to call it like storytelling, right? Its own story came out of it, where we had like gotten very, we'll call it close to Mount Doom, and we were like all in an area kind of fighting off a horde, and Joe came up with this like harebrained scheme of like going back and recruiting dwarves with Gimli. And so I took Arwen, and the 2 of us like warped back there. And then it's funny because, right, it's literally luck of cards, right? Nothing more than that. Zero control of what we did there. But luck of cards made it where all the troops, the orcs of Mordor, started like moving toward back where Gimli was. And so like our story was like, oh, Gimli went back and like created this distraction. It was like, oh, me and the boys are gonna roam the lands and distract everybody away from Mount Doom. And like, it was just neat. Like, we created our own story of this game. And it was a blast. Like, I completely love this game.
That's really cool. Yeah, John, I think that's a big part of it, is being a big Lord of the Rings fan playing this game. Because
yeah, like, Paul would not have enjoyed this in the slightest, because like, you're the characters and like you're doing some sort of thematic quest, and like, so you know the places and that kind of stuff. And like, I'm not saying that it's a bad game
like,
otherwise,
it's still a
but
good
that
game.
Like amplifies the game, right? Like, the story I made would make zero care for Paul, because Paul doesn't care about Gimli, right? But we do, and him going back for some dwarves, and then the troops heading that way, like, makes a story for us. So yeah, I think being a fan just amplifies this game.
One thing that I've heard that's really good about this game compared to the other pandemics is that the cards are like dual use, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
like,
what I'm saying. So the enemy deck was so neat to run. It's basically like when you flip it, whatever the top card is tells what the card does. There's a top action and a bottom action, and it's either red or black. So if the top card is red, you're doing the top, and if the top card is black, you're doing the bottom, and that dictates. So they have like, so the top would be it would be enemy movement. So it was, and the map was designed phenomenally on how to route these enemies. Very cool. So the top would be enemy movement, and the bottom would be, it might have been placing a guy. But anyway, the bottom would be, no, it was not placing a guy. Bottom was placing new people, enemies out there, and then had some sort of action that was ultimately you're trying to get Frodo to Mount Doom to destroy the ring. Right? That's every game you play. You have to do that. So the bottom action is going to be things that basically threaten Frodo.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I've heard really good things about the design of the game and just like that making that the replayability just so much higher. So yeah, you guys have talked about it quite a bit, so should be a very good one for you, John.
Yeah, and then Joe and I kept up with the tradition of playing Fields of Arle. I think this was our fourth playthrough, I believe. I think it's fourth or fifth. And we've still been enjoying it. Like every time we play it, it's a different. I mean, nothing changes. No variable setup. It's the exact same game every time, and we are still enjoying like playing the kind of tug of war that is this game. Talked about it a lot, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But I just think it's so clever. All of the worker placement stuff, the way the seasons work, and yeah, we'll probably continue to play it.
Gonna have to get that T expansion soon. Flip Tunes. So this is a new 2025 game. It's just a quick deck builder that has a little market on there. So you're buying all these different cartoon characters basically that have different abilities. So once you get them in your deck, you are going to form a 6-card tableau, and based on when you flip those cards out, it's going to give you some ability. So it could be like the ostrich, which allows you to stack cards on top of it, so that gives you 7 cards instead of the 6. You have the elephant that lets you flip cards, the previous cards, and then do some other ability that's really strong, or maybe it's just worth a lot of victory points, something like that. So all these abilities, just the way that they interact with each other, creates kind of how you want to play this game. There's the snake, or maybe the crocodile, I don't remember which one, but you had it and it allowed you to get rid of a card and just grab a new one from the deck and put it out there. So just the way the cards interact, the game played, I want to say 20, 30 minutes max. It's the first person to get 30 fame. It's just a game that I really do like it. I've mentioned I'm not a huge card person. I'm not a huge deck builder person, but this one does it in such a way that it's very quick. In just a way that I think looks cool, and all the abilities in the card and just the interactions of how it builds on that tableau. Really, really thought it was a good one.
Yeah, it was a fun card game. I would put this has got to be like family weight 1.7, right? It's no strategy, and you should play it with your family that doesn't know how to play games. And everybody is just like picking whatever card and doing whatever thing, and you're gonna, so like Paul said, get a game done in 15 minutes, and then just shuffle up, deal again, and keep playing. And it was fun.
Yeah, what I like about it is also like there are, I feel like, some different strategies that you can go.
I disagree.
No, I mean
this game is all luck.
But like I'm saying, like you could get all of the ones that let you stack cards, so that way you're going to have a lot more cards in your tableau. Or you can get like the alligator or the snake or whatever it is, and it can give you new cards, like replace them as you're going from there. the elephant, which lets you flip stuff. You can get a lot of cards that prevent that flip from happening, so you get the benefit of both of those cards. So depending on, I feel like, on what you want to do, of course you can just play it and just get whatever you want from up there. But if you want to make it a little bit more, you've played it enough times, you're playing with a lot of people that know the game, let me try it this way. So I think that's really cool about it.
I have to disagree. This game is, you buy the most expensive card. It has the best, strongest ability, whether that's flipping something and worth a lot, or moving to the top, or whatever the most expensive card is the best. You just buy whatever the most expensive card you can afford, and every round is just a fiesta of flipping and, oh, this happened, oh, it didn't happen this time, or whatnot.
I mean, I don't know. I just think I feel like there's many ways that you can play it. So, hey, thanks for being here. You're a little bit late, but we're still early on. We've got a lot of games to talk about. So going to the next one here. Formaggio. Or Formaggio. Formaggio. One of those. It is the standalone expansion to Fromage.
Fromage 2.
Yes, Fromage 2.
Yeah, it was fun.
Same exact game.
Exact same game.
Yeah.
Had a blast like I did with the first Fromage. You don't need both. I don't know why anybody would ever buy both personally.
Just to get more.
Like, this is not, in my opinion, a game that you're busting out every game night. You bust it out every cheese
too. Yeah.
You bust it out occasionally, laugh, have fun.
Yeah.
But it was a blast. Just like the first Fromage.
St. Louis Paul is here. We got to play this one with St. Louis Lance. So
yeah, we did.
It was actually one that we kind of strategically waited until we had 4 players, because I don't know how well this game will play at anything less than 4.
I would never play this with anything but 4 players.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that Lance took a picture to convince John to buy this game. So,
yeah, and we said John probably already has it.
Yeah, hopefully you get a chance to play it. But anyway, John, if you don't have it, buy either one. It doesn't matter. They're both. You just need one, and it's a blast at 4.
Yeah, the only reason you'd have both of them is to have it's modules. That's all it is. So you could have the area. He has both.
Oh, he has both.
There you go.
Well,
yeah,
combine them all.
Yeah, so do the
2.
gondola for one, do the little area control for the other. It's just different ways to make cheese. On this one, like I said, they have like a Venice one. So you have the gondolas and you're trying to get the cheese pairings next to those. There's one that I forget what it is, but you're collecting wine bottles. So it's your little set collection. There was one where you're aging the cheese. So you want cheese in columns and in rows. And then the other one, I don't remember. But it's the same thing. You're collecting your animals to get bonus cheeses. You're collecting your structures to get bonus actions. It's just a fun 20-minute game, 30-minute game that fun to spin stuff around. Now, I will say, John, I hope you have the actual Lazy Susan.
John definitely does. I would stake a lot on the fact that John got the deluxe little Lazy Susan neoprene mat thing.
It was a little bit harder to spin.
Yeah, definitely it does make it easier to spin that way.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely play with that.
Yeah. Glass Road. So we talked about Black Forest earlier. Glass Road, I guess,
this was right after Broom Forest.
Had to have been,
Broom Service.
Inspired by Glass Road, or he must have been like, I'm gonna
it was a re-implementation.
Revisit my
Every
design.
Single UE game is a re-implementation of other games.
Glass Road.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we don't need to go too much into it. Glass Road was a combination of Broom Service and Black Forest.
Yeah. What was super funny was Broom Service. We played that one first, and we were planning on playing this one. And as soon as we finished Broom Service, we were like,
yeah, I even started setting this up, and I'm like, the girls are not going to want to do this right away.
Yeah, another follow mechanic.
Yeah, it's the exact same card play mechanic. But we played this at 2, and we played it at 4. And honestly, I liked both, and felt like both were two
completely different
games. Yeah. But both justified in liking. So I would play it at, I guess at that point, any player count. But the way they do the 2-player is really neat, and it turns it into a totally different game. But yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Again, I said I like Black Forest better than this one. This is still a top tier game. Like if you if you put this one out, I will be more than happy to play it. It's really good. Um, and that's the thing with Yui, he gets a mechanic and then he does whatever he can to perfect it, right? Like he's just, oh, I'm going to tweak this a little bit more, and then on my next game I'm going to have it, but I'm going to tweak it a little bit more. And he's real good at that stuff.
I only half remember this game. This game's not worth talking about.
Where did you play it?
At BGG.
At BGG, okay.
With Joe.
Yeah.
It's a 2-player, not racing game. I don't even collect points card type of game. You had these ships. There was 2 columns of cards, and the first player chose one of the cards, and the second player chose the other. I don't know how the top card of the row or column or whatever was worth less than the bottom. So if you chose that, you were going first, but if you chose the other, you were going second, and you just basically trade clipboards. It wasn't good. That's all you need to hear about it. It was not worth playing.
Ian, the upgraded one is much better. Yeah, we got to play the upgraded Fromage last year at BGG Con in November, and yeah, it is better. Innovation.
Oh,
I think this was your most played game this
Look,
month.
Joe, he's insulting you. He put the 4th edition picture. How boo-boo. We didn't play 4th edition. We played, was it Deluxe?
Ooh, the Deluxe game. Did you see?
Because there's a new version, too. That's the, I don't know what it's called.
Did you see at Madness, there was like so many innovation expansions? There were like little boxes.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, I don't know, it said like automobiles or something else.
Joe's is like the Deluxe that has a bunch of the expansions, and then they have a new version that just came out this year. I can't remember what it was called. It was like enhanced, or I don't know. It doesn't matter. We got to play this with Lance. Just a really neat little card play game. So there's 11 piles of cards, 1 through 10. 10 piles of cards, 1 through 10. And you're collecting symbols, and if you have the most of a symbol, when you do an action, you get to do it solely. But if anybody has more symbols than you, they get to do the action first, and then you get to do the action, and then you get a card. So it like kind of benefits you for the other person to do the action, but it benefits them because it's not their turn and they get to do an action. And then there's a different type of action that if you have the most, you can demand stuff from the other player by saying, I demand you give me your point cards or something like that. Anyway, really neat. The scoring, scoring mechanic and everything was very easy, but it's going to sound convoluted. You have a scoring pile, which is collecting numbers, points, scoring. And then every 5 multipliers, so 5, 10, 15, 20, there's an achievement card. And if you have that score, you can claim the achievement. And it's the first of 5 achievements wins the game. So like the score is not the actual game, it's collecting the achievements. And so it's kind of a race to get them. Anyway, really cool game, really quick to play. Yeah, I'd play it again easily.
Yeah, I think this was your most played game this month, probably.
I had 2. It definitely was.
John Company, 2nd edition. I posted it in, excuse me, I posted in the Discord. I talked about it with you after. I think this is the most fun experience of a game that I've ever had. Any game that I've ever played, I think this is just the most fun of that, which is crazy because we played this about a year ago, and I would have been happy to never play the game again a year ago. We saw this guy, Colin. If you find our channel, Colin from BGGCon, we see him all the time there. But we always see him running games of Blood on the Clock Tower, another game I didn't put on here. But we see him running Blood on the Clock Tower all the time, and he's the kind of guy that makes a awesome host. He is like so aware of everything. He knows what everybody's doing. He was running a game of Blood on the Clock Tower or playing, and he just came up to us and started talking to us in the middle of the game. We didn't acknowledge him at all. So this person is just very like socially aware. Anyway, Devin has seen him running a game of John Company. And as we were talking to him, we were like, hey, that looked really fun what you were doing. Are you going to do it again? And he said, yes, he was going to the next day. So we exchanged contact information, and he texted us, and he got the table all set up. 6 players, so complete full game. He did a rolling teach how you're supposed to of this game, and it was just so good. Like as he was teaching it, he was making moves that didn't benefit him, but it was giving everybody the experience, right? So, when he set us all up, he set himself as a chairman, because the chairman's divvying out money, and that's a really important role. That's what I was the first time we played it, and I was just throwing money around willy-nilly. And he was, oh, I'm going to give the shipping manager, which I believe was you at first, I'm going to give the shipping manager 5 coins, because we need him to spend it all, and we need him to really buy this, and that. I'm going to give this person this, and that. And just the way that he explained the game made it very friendly.
Yeah. I agree with what Paul said. I will never play this game not at a full table of participating people again. It's how this game is 100% meant to be played. It's a negotiation game. Colin said from the very beginning, he said, this game is negotiation and dice rolling, so do not come in with any real strategy.
Yeah.
That's how he prefaced the game to start with, and I thought that was like that set. It did two things,
the expectations,
right? Yeah. It set the expectations and the tone right then of like, oh, what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And it was a crazy game. Like we had some terrible. Colin himself lost an 87% chance, an 80% chance, and an 87% chance in dice rolling 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Like, it was a crazy game, but it was just, the experience was so much fun. I told Joe, Joe and I watched the other people playing that he was running. And I had told Joe, I said, that is the experience of John Company I would really want, we happened to run into Colin later and then set up to play. And we got that. We got that John Company experience. It was just 4 hours of a lot of fun, betrayal, and honestly, really like, everybody was in it. I mean, it was the score was 11-15.
Yeah.
Like everybody was in the game until the end, and it made it a whole lot of fun and very memorable.
Yeah, Devin talks betrayal. It was I've never felt this betrayed in my life, like games ever. I was 100% in charge of the military. I was able to do like pretty much anything that I needed to, and I was trying to take the company from the beginning, and I was very close to doing it.
Paul was all in it for his own
I was all in
from the moment
from the
beginning.
The game. And somehow Devin convinced me to appoint him as the governor of something and pay him money to put him in this position. And literally the next turn just erased me from my job, just got me removed completely, just ruined everything.
I'm going to say, in my defense, it was necessary.
It was necessary.
Paul was set up to handily win the game.
Yeah.
I had to do it for the benefit of everybody. I knew what I had to do, or Paul was going to retire.
Yep.
He was going to pay the maximum amount retirement, and then he was set up to tank everything.
Yeah, I was very close to, and I mean, it was perfect. It was the perfect opportunity. You did what you needed to. You did what you promised me you would do, and then you played the blackmail card, and it was just like, I legitimately just like sunk in my chair. I was like, I don't know what to do. So from that point on, I was like, I'm a company man, right? And so then we were kind of working together, and then it got to the very end of the game where I had to trust you again, and it was I don't know.
That happened round 3. At the end of round 2.
Yeah, it was like round 2.
It was the end of round 2 or 3. I can't remember exactly. I think it was the end of round 2 that I did that. So then by round 5, Paul and I have now both put ourselves in a top position of the game. We're both equally like we're tied at this point. And really, of the tied scenario, Paul was ahead of me. So had the company failed, Paul was going to be the victor. But either way, it was not in my interest, either of our interests, to let the company succeed the last round. So like rounds 3 and 4, everybody was in it for the company. We were all trying to make the company succeed.
And
we were
Joe
doing good.
brought us back from the
Joe
dead.
single-handedly like
just put shares into the company, like
reducing our debt. He became this full-on company guy. So then at the end of round 4, Paul and I are in a good position, and we're both like, Paul, we need this company to fail.
Take the company.
Like everybody else will do very well if and like I was spent. At the end of round 4, I had nothing left. I had no positions. I had no way of earning money. Like, 1, because I had betrayed Paul, and then 2, just how I had set myself up. I had went all in already, and I had nothing else I could do in round 5. And so, we get to like Paul and I are trying to tank the company. They are trying to keep the company alive. And then it gets down to a vote. And it was just an awesome 15 minutes of straight negotiation just around the voting, table through voting.
And come to find out, we were never going to win that vote anyway because they had so much. And going back to Colin, going back to Colin, I think it was during round 3 or possibly 4, I traded a blackmail card with him. And I was like, I don't know what this is. He was like, it's a card that you want. Yeah. And I was like, but why? And it was basically a card that was going to help me try to fail the company. So again, he was putting the game over his own experience. He was like, no, Paul can do something good with this. At the very end, he also gave us just enough capital. He traded enough money and we gave him enough assets that it was still possible for us to like fail the company. So again, that game was 100% on him, but it was just such an awesome experience. Take the company was 100% going to win. Last turn, someone did one thing. Yeah, and that was the thing also, like, if we take the company, we still needed this law to come out, and it came out. Yeah. And it was just like, oh man, just everything. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good experience.
So much fun. Long shot.
This was terrible. Okay, so I played this solo one time, and I thought it was completely awful, right? But I thought it's not meant to be played solo, right? Like that was on me. I got it, right? So played this with Derek, Denver, Hannah, Lacey, and myself. 5-player game. This was a total turd. I'm getting rid of this game. None of us had fun. Great comparison. We've also played Camel Cup, and this was not right next to each other. This was
Camel Up.
Excuse me. This was not right next to each other. It was a couple of weeks apart, right? I would never. There is zero reason to ever choose this game over Camel Up. It's not fun. Like that's just the best way to put it. This is not a fun game.
That sucks.
It's really quite garbage.
It's one that I've wanted to try for so long.
I'm saving you. It's zero fun, right? Like zero. Camel Up is fun because like every whatever I'll call it 7 to 9 minutes, like you have this exciting betting round, right? And like you're in it and like, oh, this is happening in this round, right? There's not that. It's just one lap of a race, and the betting is not fun to begin with. And then like there's no break points. It's just until the end. And so at the beginning, it's like, well, there's 8 horses. I'm not placing any bets, right? Like, why would you?
I don't know what these horses are going to do.
Why would you? And then you're very limited on your bets anyway. You can only bet on the color of horse that has been currently rolled. There's a couple of wild things. The actions are just stupid. This game was really bad. That's the best way to put it.
How unfortunate. Lords of Baseball.
Yeah, this one was cool. You are like a manager of a baseball team, not playing the team, not controlling any of that. You're
really building out your stadium and you're hiring the coaches.
You have like these 3 stats, and it's your farm level, it's your manager, and it's your front office, right? And that's like your stats. And each one does something different, drawing more cards or whatnot. And then you have players, and they're either stars or position players or
Farm.
rookies, I think is what it is. Or maybe it's stars, veterans, and prospects, something like that. I don't know. And there's basically equations, however many of these you have, all projects to your point value, and so your team level is a 9. And then you basically are simulating a season. So there's 8 teams, and you're going to play all other 7 teams over the course of a season. And it's dice rolling. It's my team value is 9. Your team value is 7. We're each rolling a 6-sided dice and adding that to our team value, right? So I roll a 3 and have 12. You roll a 6 and have 13. You won by 1 point. And so there's a chart. Because you won by 1 point, it's simulating 22 games. So you won 12 games and I won 10 games is basically what it is. And so you do that, and then we play the next team, and then so you play all 7 teams. There's a little bit of card play that goes into that side of things, and then a cleanup step, and then you see who got the most points in that season, and then there's other board game mechanics to get more points is basically what it is.
Do you think you have to be a baseball fan to enjoy this game?
No, not at all.
Yeah, this to me seems more of like it's the people that go to baseball to take stats, right? Like, when you go to the game and the people are, oh, is this out and this out? It seems more like that is, not that you're doing that with the players, but like you want to get the best manager, you want to get this, you want to expand your stadium and that stuff. It doesn't seem like it's a lot of baseball.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a board game, man. It's like it's board game mechanics is the way I look at it. I don't think you have to be a baseball fan. Like, I like baseball, so I know the stuff. Ultimately, it's game mechanics, and it was cool game mechanics with, added a little bit of dice rolling for Joe. I thought it was really neat. I thought it was cool how you so the beginning,
Moneyball, the board game.
the first step is your spring training, and that is doing things with players, obviously, right? So it's how you get more stars, or maybe you trade a star for 5 prospects, or things like that. You make a lot of trades like that, right? Then you play the games, and then the front office stage, or whatever the end of the season thing was called, is how you upgrade your stadium, so you get more money for concessions, like that. You generate your income and that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I thought it was a really fun game. I
really wanted to try this one. You guys played it, when I wasn't there. Would you guys want to play this one? Do you guys think this would be one that you would play again?
Yeah, I would play this again for sure.
Yeah, I think it would be cool just to kind of see what it is. I don't know. I'm a big fan of baseball, and I think it would be cool. It sounds interesting. Jeff asks, is it Moneyball, the board game?
I guess in a sense.
Yeah. Right? Like, you're just trying to get the best team by...
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily like being the cheapest or most expensive team. Like,
doing the best with what you got.
Yeah, like it's how you make trade, right? So like your prospects add nothing to your team score, right? 0. But they generate passive victory points. Every 5 prospects you have is 1 victory point at the end of the round. So I had a team that had, I almost always was over 15 prospects. So I was generating 3 victory points at the end of the game, to Joe, who had a team that was a stronger point team. So he could win more, but he only generated 1 victory point.
Interesting.
At the end of the round. I did a lot of, like, I obviously went into concessions and that kind of stuff. So I had a lot of passive points versus actually winning the games to get points.
Well, and that seems just a more sure way to get victory points, because you're not winning all the games because it's dice rolls. So, I don't know. Joe says 5 seasons, no more, no less.
Yeah, okay, I agree to that. So there's 3 versions of the game. You could play over 3 seasons, 5 seasons, or 7 seasons. Okay. 3, I think, would be way too short. You would not get to really
do anything.
It would just be luck at that point. 5 hit the sweet spot in that we didn't fully build out everything, so you still had to be choosy with because the final tiles in your upgrades were end of game victory points, right? So you had to be choosy. You couldn't buy them all. But if we went 2 more rounds, we definitely would have built them all. We'd have all had the maxed out stadium with the maxed out stuff, and it would not have been fun.
It's just been too easy, not too non-forgiving. Too forgiving, whatever it is. Marvel United, I got it right up here. This is Enter the Spider-Verse. So on Wednesday, we picked up. There's one of our local game shops had a buy 2 get 1 free sale. So I ended up actually picking up this and the Across the Spider-Verse, I think is what it's called. No, the Spider-Geddon box of Marvel United. Mainly because this is a game that I wanted to introduce to Lola, so my 5-year-old, and she absolutely loves Ghost Spider. She watches Spidey and His Amazing Friends, so she knows Ghost Spider, Spider-Man, and Spin, as she calls him, Miles Morales. And then there's Gobby on the box, Goblin. So I just figured, this is something that she enjoys. She can definitely read now. And this is like a 1.8, weight, something that's pretty easy. So I actually set it up on Thursday morning. We had it all there. You've got your 6 locations and whatever. So it was pretty funny. She has her deck of, I think it was 12 cards. So, I had them all shuffled for her and everything. And so then I'm starting to shuffle my deck. She's like, oh, I want to shuffle mine. And she just shuffles while she's looking at the cards. And she's like, oh, I want to play this one first. I hadn't explained anything to her. I was like, no, you got to get it off the top, whatever. But it was super easy to explain. I think there's 3 symbols on the cards. There's a move, there's a punch, and then there's the wild action. So, I told her we're going to flip over Gobby's thing and we're going to just read what it says. So what number is this? And she said 5. I was like, all right, he's going to move 5 spots. And then what does this say? It said BAM. I was like, okay, we're going to read all of the BAMs everywhere. So, she was actually getting into it. And there was one spot where it was like, he's going to kidnap somebody. And she was like, oh no, he's taking him back to his lair. So, you put him in there. It was really cool. There was a couple of things on there that, were kind of hard for her to understand. Like you couldn't attack him until all the civilians were saved. So she tried to attack him a couple times. Her not paying attention to the timeline, right? She's not going to strategize of, oh, now I can move and do this kind of thing. But it's definitely something that we're going to work towards. And this box it's pretty easy. I think the Spider-Geddon United box is a little bit harder. The villains in there are a little bit harder. But we can always modify that by, taking out some of the things. And, if she likes this, there's hundreds of Marvel things. I don't know if you guys started watching the new Iron Man show. It's the same. It's Spidey and His Amazing Friends, but it's Iron Man and Ironheart and Iron Hulk. So it's same thing. So she started watching that. So now she's getting into Iron Man a little bit more. So, eventually if this is something that she likes, we'll just start going to those other ones. And it was fun. It was good to actually play a real game with her and not just Pretty Princess or, Animal Upon Animal, whatever it was. So that was a good one. No thanks. I won because I'm a better player than everybody.
It's true. We played this a couple times. See, this same play the same as Innovation.
Oh yeah, you did. I played it once.
It's a card game where it's an anti-bidding game. You flip over a card. You're not wanting points. The cards are numbered 1 through 35 with 9 of them taken out. And ultimately, you're bidding to not take the card. You obviously don't want the 30s. And if you have to take
whatever card you take, that's how many points you gain.
Yeah, you want the 1 through 10s. And it's very honestly, not much to say about the game, but it is a very clever and easy game. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It's a little quick filler that you just bid on, and maybe you get lucky and you win. Orbit. It's a Reiner Knizia racing game. So he released 3. There was Orbit, Silos, and another one I don't remember. This is the one that I decided to get just because it's a racing game. So this racing game, you are starting off on one of 8 planets, and you're trying to reach all 8 planets that are on the map. You have energy and you have cards. Your cards are multi-use cards, so it tells you how far you can move. It tells you how much energy you can collect, and your energy gives you extra movement. And then it also says what planets are going to move in the solar system. So the planets are in an orbit. They're going to be rotating around, not rotating, revolving around the map. And so you are just trying to put your person or your spaceship in the best location to reach all these planets. Throughout the map, there's a bunch of little tokens also that can increase your energy, cargo. It can increase your card deck size, your hand size. There's some like wormholes that you can travel through throughout the board. Overall, I thought it was a fine game. It's one that it's another family weight game that you can just play pretty easily. I'm going to be taking it to my classroom to play with students just because it's a really, really easy one that you can play. I thought it was a good racing game. Nothing spectacular, nothing amazing, but I think it was a good family weight game. I think Devin feels the same about that one.
Yeah, it was fine. Pipeline. This is really cool. Paul and I have varying thoughts on this game, but I thought this game was really cool. You are building out oil pipelines.
So this is the same designer as Curious Cargo.
Theory behind it. And you are basically trying to refine oil based off how many matching connection pipes that you have. That's all the theme is. But it was really cool and clever. It's one of those games that has some sort of upgrades or powers, and that's really what dictates the difference in the game. And so you're buying pipe pieces. That's the bulk of the game, and creating longer chains of pipe to refine more efficiently oil. And then going to sell it for the market. It's really just a tight action game. You're very, very tight and limited on your actions, and there's some ways to double dip or bonus or pay for additional actions. There's several different ways of doing extra actions. And it's really about that. How did you do the extra actions? How efficiently were you at doing the extra actions? And I thought this was very, very cool and very, very fun.
Yeah, this is I will give it. This is a good game. This is I can see why people enjoy this one. Again, this is the same designer as Curious Cargo. It's the same designer as the guy that made Trailblazers. He is all about route building some way or another. And the route building in this game is really, really important. You have to be really efficient in how you're placing your things, because that's going to dictate how well you're going to be able to produce that oil or increase the value of that oil. I thought that was kind of interesting, the government part where you're locking people out. My upgrade that I got was getting pieces from the government pretty much for free at the start of every round.
A bunch of handouts.
So I got tons of handouts throughout the game, but I am not nearly as efficient as Devin is in placing those things. He ended up tripling basically mine and Joe's score in the game. And what it really comes down to is I didn't know that's what he was doing on his side of the board. You know, he was across the board for me. And I could see his pipelines over there and they looked fine, but I didn't really know what he was doing, right? And there was one time where Devin was like, "Oh, Paul, yours looks good over there." I'm like, "Yeah, mine, yeah, it looks fine." Um, but then what I noticed was on Devin's one of his last turns, he sold, I want to say it was like $300 worth of oil. And I just looked at mine and I was like, oh, we're playing different games. Right? Like that was the exact feeling that I had because my sales were $70, $80, right? Um, so playing the game, it was good. I felt like I was doing all right. I just don't think that I will ever match you in this game. Um, and to me, that's just kind of like I'm not even in the same ball game kind of thing, right? Like, I just think that the fact that you're doing your own stuff in your own board, um, there is a little bit of share spot with what Michael's saying, like the government pieces, but even like the blocking of the spaces and stuff like that, like that's not that tight. I don't feel like there was never a time where I was like, oh no, you took my spot. Um, it was just like you can have such vast scores based on how efficient you are, which you like that in games like that. That's the kind of games that you like. You want to push that efficiency as much as you can, and you're going to min max all that stuff. Where somebody like me, that's just not what I'm going to do. And the next time I play this game, I'll make $50 more, $100 more, but that's not going to do anything in the grand scheme of things. So,
Yeah, it's a game that plays to my strengths.
mm-hmm.
Michael's saying it's too tight for him, right? That's if a game is ever defined as tight, it almost certainly is a game that I love,
Yeah.
right? I want a game that is tight on actions,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to crunch out your actions, and you have to crunch out 3 actions ahead
Mm-hmm.
to know what you're doing. So that's check mark 1. It's tight on resources. You are very limited on the amount of money you have, and selling at the right time again goes back to tying it to the actions. Like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and sell now, and it funds my next 3 actions, which gets me to a bigger sell, right? Like, so you're tight on money. That's really your only resource. So you're tight on actions. You're tight on resource. And then third, I am typically very good at polynomial placement type of games. And not that it's polynomial, but it is a route building.
Yeah.
And so those are like 3 of my just very good strengths, all wrapped up in one game.
Yeah. What's really funny is you don't gravitate towards tile laying or polyomino games, but you are very good at
visual. Like I could look at all of the piles of government tiles, and I could see, oh, these 4 tiles here, this one touching here, and I can literally, without touching them, I can see this is going to go here, this is going to go here, this here, and I've connected 4 or 3 pipes, 4 different times.
And then all of a sudden you're able to go from crude oil to premium or whatever.
Yeah, so like the end scoring was for like your pipes, right? And I only had 3 pipes. Like I made 3 massive pipes, all based off. I started with 1 tile that had all 3 colors and went from there.
Jeff, terrible against min-maxers. Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't really pay attention to the score that much either. I know in general, I don't know, I think I'm at like 33% win rate against you. Like, I don't ever expect to. I try to play as best as I can. But it was just something about this one. It was just like, oh, we were just playing different games. That's what it felt like. If there's water. Yeah, that's how I feel. I like to kind of do everything. So I don't know. It's definitely a good game. It's not a bad game. It's just not a game for me. Shackleton Base. I got to solo this one, and that was, I think, my 4th play of the game. My first solo of the game. The solo was okay. It was nothing amazing. I think this game plays best at 3 players. I've played it solo 2 and 3. I haven't played 4 players yet, but I would expect that it's about the same. 3 players is good because it really makes you have to work more.
2?
No, I played it with Wade.
I was gonna say, I don't remember.
Yeah, no, you didn't play this one at 2. No, I'm pretty sure after the 3-player game, you're like, I'm done with it. Don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
but at 2, there isn't enough vying for the crater. There's just not. You don't have enough space. And then at solo, it's actually a little bit better than the 2-player version because it's going to take the best spots that there are. But what I did read and what I would recommend is if you're playing at 1 or 2, play with the evergreen farms because that actually adds tiles onto the crater, so it makes space a little bit more. You need to fight for space a little bit more because there is no scaling of the game. It's always going to be the same crater. It does get tight, but it's not too bad. So at this point, I have played all but one of the corporations, and that's the two Mars one. And that one actually removes stuff from the crater. So from everything I've read, it says don't play that one at 1 or 2 because then the spaces on the crater just become easy to get to as well. The solo was okay. It was nothing great. I like how the AI runs. I didn't like the rule book on where placement stuff is. There was a lot of ambiguity on there. And after my playthrough, I was scouring BGG for all of the errata that there is, and then people were saying, oh no, he chimed in on this thread and he said this is the rule, and then on this thread he said this was the rule. So it was just a couple things, and I know on my playthrough I messed up a lot with its tile placement stuff. Overall, I don't think it's a game that I would solo anymore. It's not a game that I'm going to be playing at 2 players with you, just because it's not one of the games that you liked. So overall, it's just a game that's probably not going to stay in the collection. It's a fine game, but at this point, fine games are a lot harder to keep in a collection. So that is a Shackleton base. Small World of Warcraft. Ton of fun.
Real quick, we're in S's. So before we get to this, we'll talk about Return to Dark Tower.
Return to Dark Tower. Here's a big R.
There's a big R. Return to Dark Tower, because I forgot to send that over to Paul. So got to play this with John, who's in chat, and Paul, who's in chat, and then John's neighbor, Kelly. Blast. I am ashamed of myself because I have just completely, not poo-pooed, but completely overlooked this game because it's co-op, so I've never really cared, never really looked into it. I knew it had a cool tower thing, but I'm like, whatever. I'm never going to play that game. Literally the day after BGG, right? BGG ends on Sunday. I'm flying to St. Louis on Monday, kind of an emergency one-day trip. I flew into St. Louis, flew out of St. Louis type of thing. But I was going to be there Monday night, so I just texted John, said, hey, look, I know you guys get together on Mondays. I was not trying to intrude, but if you guys are playing, I'm down to play something. Otherwise, no big deal. And they were going to play Paleo. And he's like, Paleo is not good at 4 players, so we can do something different. And we've talked about playing Minos, but none of us were prepared on a few hours notice to play Minos. So he's like, have you played Return to Dark Tower? And I'm like, no, I haven't, but I'll play it. Right?
Yeah, I'll play anything.
I'm not going to say no to a game night.
To me texting you and inviting myself to your game night.
Yeah, exactly. And man, I'm ashamed that I have looked past this game because it was a blast. We had so much fun. This game was awesome. That's the best way to play it. I would play this game again anytime. I think I would only play this game at 4, though. I do not know how it would work.
So you asked me how you play at 3.
You have to shut off an area?
I don't think you shut off an area, but you shut off spaces in the areas, I think is what it was. So you make...
so I don't know that I would like that. I would think everybody wants to be... so you have coverage. But anyway... it was a blast of a game. My only one complaint, I would say, is maybe a bit long in the tooth. We ended it in the 5th month. We could have played one more full month, but at that point it was we're done. We can end it, So let's go in the thing. But just really cool, very simple turns. John has a awesome game room, but he has, a TV mounted behind the table. And so he connected or, mirrored his iPad to the thing. So him and Paul could look at the iPad,
Oh, okay.
and then me and Kelly could look at the screen.
TV.
So we could always all
That's cool.
see what was happening on. Not that there's a lot happening on it, but like I could always look, and this is what the current quest is.
That's
or whatnot.
cool. That's real cool.
It was neat because we all did very different things, right? Like I did not recruit a single red troop until like the last turn or something of the game. I was able to go a completely different route where I was getting a whole bunch of whatever they call them, the relics or artifacts or whatever they were called, cards. But it was just fun, and it was really neat how the final like beat up of the baddie is like one person goes in there. So like I was kind of doing my own thing, and I actually like did a lot of the monthly quest, and it was like because my character could eliminate people off the board without fighting if I just did the monthly quest. So I was doing that, and I was just building a mass of stuff, right? And so
look at my stuff.
Yeah, look at all of my stuff. And so we got to what was basically, okay, we're ready for the end of the game, and Kelly was the next player to my left, and we're like talking, and we're like, okay, we're ready to fight them, and kind of like talk how we do it, and like, oh, a person can go in there and fight and then withdraw, and another person or whatnot. And I was just like, oh, okay, so we're ready to do that. So I move over to Kelly, and I literally just clear my board. I give him I don't have one thing left, and I give him all of my troops and all of my stuff. And I'm like, all right, Kelly, off to battle. But it was just neat because like me off doing kind of my own thing for the whole game and hoarding up all this stuff, then to transfer to him to be the champion, and he goes in and fights the thing.
That's awesome.
It was fun, and we just all had a blast.
Yeah, you hit on. I played that game. It was probably 3 years ago at this point, but you hit on my one gripe there. Is it app games just with people are not the best? Especially, I played this one at the board game bar, but that was the thing that. It was a couple that I was playing with also. So I was like the rando that just inserted myself into that game. So I was just like, what's going on over there, right? So like I'd have to look over. Yeah. But that's a great idea to have a TV and just look at it.
And if you haven't looked into the game, the entire app and the tower mechanic, so freaking cool. It's like so we dropped so many skulls and nothing spit out for the first like half of the game, and we're like,
is this thing broken?
No, we're just like, one of these times it's gonna dump, and surely it did, and all of a sudden it was like 4 skulls to me and 3 to Kelly and 5 to John, and it was cool. They said it was a epic game. It was fun. Like I think we all, hopefully I speak for everybody, we all had a lot of fun. I am so glad that we played it.
That's awesome. There we go.
Okay, back to it. Small World of Warcraft. So I brought this because it's been on my shelf of shame. That was honestly number one reason I brought it. It was on my shelf of shame, and I knew like there's always a time to play Small World.
Small World, yeah.
Small World is just a classic game. It's great. This is like literally no different. The difference is there's some murlocs that start on the board, and that's basically ultimately the biggest difference.
Yeah, and then entering other islands and stuff like that cost them more to go in there.
Yeah,
but it's like basically another terrain.
Yeah, it was cool. We had a blast.
I destroyed.
Yeah, Paul crushed us on this one. But it's just like
it's so fun.
Yeah, it's Small World. You don't take it seriously. You get some random race ability combination, and you go out there and you attack people.
I was gunning to be the human farmers from the beginning,
and that's what you do, and you laugh about it, and you attack, and then you get attacked back, and then that person gets attacked back.
It was so funny.
That person gets attacked back.
This was another game that I was just left to my own devices.
Yeah,
the first, I guess, Joe's first turn, for some reason, he just went straight for Lance, and he just demolished Lance. And Lance was like, what the heck? And then they just had kind of a war going back and forth, and you got kind of involved in it.
The three of us had like a knockdown, drag out match. Well, Paul was just like, all right,
I'm going to take this one.
I'm gonna take this. And like, we didn't ever go after Paul's stuff. It was just like, we all kept going for the same few pieces of land.
I think I still had some like starting of my race on the board at the end, and all of y'all's was just completely demolished. It was fun. Well, it was silly,
Yeah, you don't take this game
when we were
seriously
setting
at
up the
all.
game, Joe was sitting over there, hand me all the whatever. I'm like, Joe, I don't know what that is. Hand me all the, I'm like, Joe, tell me what they look like, the
Yeah.
white haired person or this person. And he just kept on going on. I'm just like, I'm just going to give them to you. You can do whatever you want. But it is super fun. Small World is just a great game
Yeah,
in
it is.
general.
Speakeasy.
Speakeasy.
So got this in like right before.
Lance is very aggressive.
He was. And don't get me wrong, Lance was very aggressive. I'm telling you, the three of us were just like going.
Yeah, I
after
was out of the
each
way.
other. So Speakeasy, this came in like literally a week or 2 weeks before the con, and I'm like, all right, this is our big game to learn.
This is our Lacerda.
And so, excuse me, learned it, and then like never had a chance to play it. Like it was always just bad timing because I knew this was going to be. I think it took us 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
I assume with Joe it'd have been 4.
I think it was like 2.5 when my phone said. But yeah,
maybe that's it. I don't remember. It'd have been a little bit more with Joe. Heavier game, longer teach, right? It probably was a 45
the teach
minute,
I think was
45
longer
minute
than the game. It felt like
teach, right? And so there was just never a time for the three of us to play it. Like every time, like we were like, oh, maybe we'll play it here. We played Dark
John
Ages,
Company.
or then we got the
Ages.
John Company game, and so there was like, okay, we don't want to play it after that. And so anyway, long story short, Joe left early Sunday morning to drive back.
Paul thought we had a whole nother day of the con.
There till noon or 2 or whatever, and so Paul and I were like, all right, we'll play this in the morning, and that'll be our game. I had a blast. I thought it was really good. I think this is the easiest Lacerda game by miles. It's almost always pretty clear what you should be doing or aiming toward. Yeah. Like, oh, I have no, I have no beer or alcohol. I need to use my still action and make some alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh, I have alcohol at the speakeasies. I need to sell, right? I think, and then there's no convoluted in-game scoring. There's honestly very little in-game scoring to begin with. The bulk of in-game scoring comes from scoring your buildings, which you're doing the whole, like, there's never a time when you're going to play this game that you are not building buildings, right? So, and I think I was roughly a quarter of my score, right? I don't know. I think I scored roughly 90 on buildings. I had about 400 on score. So, but again, it's not like that's ever and I love in-game scoring type of things, but it's just not like that was like ever I need to focus on this because of the in-game scoring. Yeah. It was, no, that's just what you do. You build speakeasies, you upgrade them to casinos or nightclubs. And so honestly, it was great. I would like to play this at 3. I'd like to play this game at 2. And I think this is going to be one that, while yes, it is quote unquote a heavy game because there are 11 action spaces, there are concepts of having to have enough strength or having to have enough leverage, how that kind of stuff works. There's a lot of, we'll call it, micro mechanics in there.
The one thing about this game that was awesome, this is my number 1 or number 2 Lacerda. We played Weather Machine so long ago that I don't really remember. I remember I had a really good time playing it, but this one is right on par with that one. It's one of those two. What I really, really liked about this one, what I really appreciated about it, was all the iconography on the board made sense. The player aid, first of all, on the board, the actions were in order. That was in the player aid. So I could have looked at the first spot and look at the first spot in the player aid and be like, oh, that is the docks. This is exactly what the docks are. I could look at the last one and say, oh, it's the park. This is exactly what you do at the park. Like, that just made it so easy to understand what was going on. And you're absolutely right. There are turns that aren't as good as other turns, but there's no bad turn. I felt like there was nothing that you could do that didn't progress your game in some way, because you are making alcohol, you're building buildings, you're selling alcohol, or you are protecting yourself or gaining more stuff, right? You're gonna do one of those things every turn. what was really cool and what was really hard at the same time was you had to do the auctions top to bottom, right? And there's a couple times where you and I both were just like,
No,
I wish I could do the bottom one first. Like, I really wish I could do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly what you said. Like, you were building out your buildings because that's just what you have to do in the game. And that's what I remember about Weather Machine liking so much. It was, oh, I have to do this so that I can do this so that I can do this, right?
Mhm.
Where in games like The Gallerist, I mean, you still have to do that. You still have to get paintings and then you have to go over here. But like the end game scoring in The Gallerist, to me, it was just like, that was just too much. Like I didn't want any of that part. I wanted to do this and do this and do that. So that's what I really appreciated about this one and Weather Machine.
I think you nailed it with there's not really bad actions. Like, I think I might have sold, I think I only sold 2 times, but I might have sold 3. But I can't imagine a game where you sell more than 3 times. Like, you have 11 actions, right? So it's not like you're constantly making alcohol and selling it. So when you think about that, like, going into selling is typically it's going to be, you could get it from boats, but it's going to be producing, it's going to be moving about with the truck, and it's going to be selling. So if you do that 2 times, that's 6. That's half of your game. And then you got to do the actual building up of stuff. So I say that because it's not like it's typically ever like oh, I have to do this right now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, in the process, I need to transport this this alcohol. But I could, if Paul's in that spot, I could do something.
I could do this other one and then do that.
Yes, one. Like it just never felt bad in that aspect. So.
And then even what was else was really cool was a lot of times in games the turn order action is always kind of just like dang it, I have to go do.
Especially at 2 players,
it was very important in this game.
So the one in this one is like
it makes your leverage way stronger because you have to pay less leverage. And there was one point where I went to it and you were just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I cannot be.
And then we realized, oh no, like it's at the end of it. It hasn't been adjusted yet. I can
still.
So that right there, that was kind of your thing of like, oh, instead of doing this round, I have to do my leverage here, or else I'm not going to be able to afford it. So
yeah,
I don't know. It was really good. And I think it's definitely the most accessible Lacerda that there is, because again, it's a game like Viticulture, like Distilled, like these other games where there is a progression of stuff that you have to do. You have to do this in order to do this. You have to do this in order to do this. And we've talked about it many times. Those are the kind of games that I like. I want a flow chart of this is what I have to do in order to get the actions that I need. So
yeah, Jeff. So it's funny you say that. I agree with you. I also think like I had not played the game when I taught the game. I think a teach now I could probably do in 25 minutes time. Yeah. Now that I have actually played the game, and then getting back to Paul's and the iconography, right? It's no secret. My board game hot take is that I don't really care too much for Ian O'Toole's artwork. I personally think it makes it harder to learn most games. It makes the barrier to entry many steps up, but then once you know the iconography, I think it makes the game easier. If that makes sense. Yeah. This one, I actually don't think that is the case. I think the iconography actually was like spoke for itself. It was very clear what was the sell action, what was the playing the cards or getting the goons or everything. Like, so I think the teach can be quick, and then like with the player aid, and then just the icons are very easy from there.
Yeah, this one is one that even you mentioned. You're like, I think you could teach this game after that. And it's like, yeah, I could for sure teach all the actions. And if I were the one to set up the board, then I would remember, oh yeah, these are the strength tokens. This is the patrol token. This is that. Like, it's just a game that I feel like once you know it, next time we don't have to even go over the teach. We will just look at the player board or the reference sheet and just be like, oh yeah, I remember this game. Yeah. Like, it's just that well done. The other Speakeasy
Blues. So this
Joe broke this game.
Yeah, this game. Paul and I played this at 2-player, and we were like, "Oh, this is a fun game.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be better at more players." And then we played it at 3, and the play ultimately just fell flat.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we broke the game, and I can never play this game again.
Yeah.
We realized that the deck you can pay to cycle the cards on display, and the deck is small enough that like there is zero reason
That as long as the 2 people in front of you cycle it, you will get the cards that you want.
Yeah, you just always should be paying the cycle, and then everybody's doing it, and everybody's getting the exact cards they want, and the game's dead. Like that's like I can never play this game again. Is ultimately what it is. It was a fine game until the first time. This time it just fell very flat.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate because it's a good looking game, and it was like you said, it was really fun that first time, and
yeah,
I was like, nope, I need the 3 horse. Here's whatever I need to pay.
Spirit Island. So it's been a handful of years since I've played this. This is one of my top 5 games of all time. This game is just amazing. I love Spirit Island. Joe and I are the right 2 to just play this together. We each grab a random spirit, a random adversary, and then just go for it. We only got to play twice, and I say only twice. I mean, each game's hour and a half, 2 hours, or whatever. But we played 2 times back to back with 2 random spirits. And we just had fun. It took me back to Joe and I have probably on 4 or 5 different sessions played this all day, with going through like every single spirit and just playing back-to-back games. And I was honestly like, man, I hate that we're having to pack it up after just 2 games. It's just, man, this game's really good.
Do you own this game, or is it Joe?
Joe does. Okay, and I have no reason to own it.
Yeah.
I'll never play it with anybody but Joe. Joe owns everything for it, so like there's just no reason for me to ever buy it. But Joe will always own it, and I will always play it. And it really affirms, it's one of those games I have not played in many years, and I would have, prior to this play, been like, yeah, it's a top 5 game for me, I'm pretty sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like I haven't played it in years, but I'm like and then I'm playing it, I'm like, oh no,
for sure,
this is definitely a top 5 game for me.
Stockpile. This game's awesome. I love this game. It's such a silly not even negotiating, just bluffing game, I guess, in a way. Not even. It's just a silly game where you are buying and selling stocks. You know a piece of the puzzle, and there's 6 pieces to this puzzle. You know what one stock is going to do. And man, you get baited so hard in this game just by one person. I am selling blue, and then everybody's like, well, what do you know about blue? What do you know about these computers? What are they going to do? Are they going to crash? It is just, it's a silly, fun game. And I'll always remember Lance selling his computers when he knew they were going to pay out dividends.
Yeah, exactly. Lance bought into the hype of everybody was selling blue. So he sold blue, and he knew the information of blue, and it was good.
It's super funny.
It is. It's fun. We played on the like crazy side of the board is the best way to put it. And I told you I'd never play the other way again because it's wild turns and swings, and it's just fun.
Yeah, I got super lucky. I had my yellow stock split and then my purple split, and it was just we got to the point where we were forgetting what cards we were having turn face down, and I don't know. It was just a lot of fun. It got to the point where it was like, you are betting so much money on this stack. What do you know here? Like, am I willing to pay more? It is just a silly, fun game. If you have a chance to play it, definitely recommend it. The version that we played didn't have the bonds in it, but we were able to add that on.
The dice are actually the best.
The dice is the best part of it. You're right. But it is just a lot of fun. It was such a good game. Tend. I just recently got this one in. This one is another heavy flip and write, scratch and write, everything kind of and write. And so far it's good. I've had 2 playthroughs of it. 2 playthroughs of it so far. And I'm really enjoying it. It gives the same Hadrian's Wall, Anarchy kind of vibe, more Hadrian's Wall vibe. And so there are 5 main actions in the game, I believe, maybe 4. So you can chop, you can mine, you can tend, you can fish. That might be the 4. But basically, you will have 5 actions available. And for these actions, you can choose whichever 2 you want. So you start off with 5 base ones, and so you choose what you want. So the mining and the chopping are actually done on a little scratch off, like a lottery scratch off. So it's pretty cool, the gimmick of it. So if you do the chopping action, you scratch one thing off. It might give you it's going to give you some type of resource. It might be wood. It could be a stump. It could be ore, I think is what it is. But anyway, then you use those resources, and you have to use the resources immediately. But you use wood to build out fences, or you can sell the wood for a coin. And so these fences will eventually allow you to have animals, and the animals are these dice, and the dice are going to tick up. So if you get a sheep, you're going to get wool. If you get an egg, or a chicken, you're going to get eggs. And so then with those resources, you have to use them immediately. So again, you can sell them for coins, which will help you kind of upgrade your farm. Or you can actually use the resource like wool, which will give you a little 3L, right? 3 spaces, and you put them in your cargo. And so then for every filled in space in your cargo that you have, that's worth 1 victory point at the end of the game. So it's just a way to manage these resources, sell them off, store them. You can fish, which is rolling 2 dice. Again, you catch the fish, you can sell it, you can put it in your in your cargo. So you take 2 actions per round. You will always see 2 new cards that are coming into your actions that you'll have. And those ones have a line in the middle that is a condition. So for the first part, it says, chop or mine. And then if you own an animal, do the bottom action also. So eventually you'll shuffle up those cards, and those cards will come out again. So it kind of gives you something to work towards. I know that card is going to want me to have an animal. So I hope that I have an animal next time in here, and go from there. So it's really cool. It's again very Hadrian's Wall-esque. But I feel I don't know. I guess I've played Hadrian's Wall enough times. You focus on 1 or 2 things, right? That you're going to choose this thing or this thing, and you can't do everything. So just when you play it, pick a couple things, and then that's it. So I think she's good. She just moved. But yeah, 10 has been good so far. I've really enjoyed it. There's a couple challenges in the back of the book. I don't think this would play well at anything more than 2 players. Even 2 players would be a stretch, because there is almost 0 player interaction. The only interaction that you'd have is with your neighbors. Again, like Hadrian's Wall, you can trade some resources, and that's about it. So really, there's not much else to do for that. So that's 10. It's been good so far. Hoping it stays good. There's enough cards and everything like that for you're not going to see all the same action cards every turn. I think you have 4 season 1 cards, and I think in the box there's 12 of them. So you shuffle them out throughout the whole time. Been good so far. Terracotta Army.
Yeah, I got to play this at 3 players. I thought it was good. It's one of those that the more players, you're going to score less because you
are doing less.
Doing less. Yeah, you have less action.
Yeah, you have less
less workers, and then you're more competitive on spaces. But that's actually what I felt the most, was the competitive on spaces over anything else. So I guess if you think about it, we had, I don't know exactly how many spaces are on the wheel, but at 2 players, you got your 10 different spaces. In this, there's 12 different spaces. So you were really stretching at the end to figure out what space and where to go and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say this is definitely if not my favorite board and dice, definitely my number 2 board and dice game.
Big.
I've really enjoyed this one. I think
Yeah,
it's
it's
really
pretty good.
good. Um, you know, it came down to the end again. You and I were pretty close there at the end. Uh, Joe gave me a bunch of points. He gave you a bunch of points. Um, but I don't know. I really like the action wheel. Uh, I really like the little spatial puzzle of putting your terracotta army out there. I don't know. It's just a really, really good one. I think it definitely deserves more love.
It's really tight with only having two resources,
Mhm.
clay and uh,
Clay and money.
money, and then kind of a secondary resource
Oh
of
yeah.
weapons. Um, Man, it's like it's one of those. You ever seen the like triangle memes? And it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
pick,
Yeah.
pick
Yep.
two,
Pick two.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's what it
That's what
is.
it is.
Like every, at least in the 2 game experience that I
Mhm.
have had, that's what it had. It's like this one for me was I had money and clay, and I never had
Any weapons.
any weapons. And I don't know. It was good. It was a lot of fun. I think it was good at 2. It was good at 3. Like I
Mhm.
would play it at either player count
Yeah, for
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah, Jeff, I would highly recommend getting it. You know, it feels the area control part of it is really interesting because at least in our last play, you didn't score. There was no there was no round scoring for that. At the end of the game, it still brings in a lot of points, but really, we could pretty much just build wherever we wanted. There was no like, oh, it's going to score the top left quadrant at the end of round 1. Try to put as many people in there. Like this one had different scoring, which it doesn't change the game up a ton, but it does change it enough to like.
Well, yes, I think it does quite a bit, and the reason I say that is like I had a totally different game. The first time we both played very
Mhm.
similar in that we're just building a bunch of stuff and trying to go after those areas,
Yeah.
right? For me, this one I actually built very little. I built the least and
Mhm.
very much the least. You and Joe built way more stuff
Yeah.
than I did. But what I did was I controlled what end game or end round scoring lines were, and I won
That's true.
almost all
That
of
is
the
very true.
in-game scoring lines, but I had very little actual people because I didn't need to,
Mhm.
because we were never scoring. It wasn't like in the 4th round we're scoring a quadrant,
Yeah.
so I need to make sure I get people. I didn't care about that.
You just wanted to make
I
sure the
had
line was in the
very
right place.
selectively placed my people and then manipulated the round scoring so that, and that's how I got most of my
That
points.
makes
I
sense.
actually played very different than I normally do, where I focus on in-game scoring. My scoring was very much round to round. I'm just trying to maximize
Yeah, when you're
that.
getting 7
Uh,
points at the end of every round, that's
yeah,
quite a bit.
14, right?
Yeah.
I won almost. I
Oh
think
yeah,
I think
14.
I
Yeah.
won. If I can remember right, I think I won all but one of them through the whole course
Hmm.
of the game. So,
Yeah, that sounds right. 5 rounds.
9 times 7, right? What is that? 63 of my points came from
And I
that.
think we scored 180s somewhere around there. I think.
And then I mean,
Somewhere. Yeah.
obviously you're getting some
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
like building. You can't avoid that. But I built way less. Like whereas you there was purple all over
Yeah.
that
All over
map,
that board.
like
Yeah.
everywhere, and I had to be very careful with my manipulation of the 2 red markers, because by the end it was like there was only select places I could really place it in order to score.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a really good game that I think definitely deserves more love. Very happy with that one. Three Sisters got to play this one. It was November. I saw some pumpkins on the game and wanted to play it. It's just a flip and right game. It's fine. It's nothing special. There are some combos that you can get. I've talked about it in the past. I don't really like Farmer Edith coming in and crossing off stuff on your board, just because I don't really. And I've talked about this in all my games. I don't want my stuff destroyed. That's just not what I enjoy in the game. With this one, though, I've kind of figured out that you just don't build on the apiary, because that's where she's going to be crossing off stuff more, or the whatever it is, the honey place in the plant, I think is what it is. I don't remember the top spot because that's what she crosses off. And then you just try to do a couple things in your farm. So there's a way to kind of game it a little bit, and not let her affect your end game as much. But it's a fine roll and write. Again, it's nothing special. And it's good. It's one that I'll continue to play every now and then, but it's not something that you have to have. But decent game. Jeff, have you played the solo? We have not played the solo. I don't think you've played Terracotta Army solo. No, I haven't played it either. It could be okay, but I think just the tactile nature of that game is what makes it more fun. Just like trying to figure out what other people are doing. I don't know. I don't know how the solo runs on it. Transgalactica.
It was fun for me. I don't know. That's I wrecked the game. So I guess the better.
Yeah, I did terrible.
The better
in this
person
game.
to talk to is Paul. Like, this was fun for me because
okay.
I scored millions of points.
So that's interesting. Going back to Pipeline, I did terrible in this game. I think you doubled my score, if not almost tripled it.
In this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrecked this game.
I think I had like 40 something. But
yeah, you weren't even like
going back to Pipeline. I did enjoy this one. I did like this one. This one felt like I was doing stuff. We tried before we actually got, what was the score?
I had 126. Joe had 71. You had 49.
There we go. So almost
triple, just like Pipeline.
Okay, so just like Pipeline, yeah. But I actually enjoyed this one more because I felt like I was. I don't know. I felt like I was progressing in my own way over here.
Even if it didn't matter?
Even if it didn't matter. We tried reading the rules to this game. I tried a couple times. I said, Devin, if we're going to play this, you're going to have to teach the game. You tried, and then you found an errata that was legitimately
so long.
I don't know, 6 pages long. And it was very clear that this rule book
I actually gave up. I said we were not playing this.
Yes.
And then I found a video that was very good in teaching it, and that's what made me. I was like, oh, it's actually pretty easy.
Yeah, and so the game is just 3 tracks with a couple different actions.
I think there's 8 actions.
Yeah, and then a lot of them are follow actions also, right?
Well, they all are. Right.
Oh yeah, they're all follow actions.
So it's 8 actions. Every action but one is essentially moving a track, right? Mm-hmm. So 3 are directly. 4 are directly moving a track. 1 is moving your little purple track.
Yeah.
1 is moving your mining track. So that's 6. The 7th is the one that's different. It is moving your ship. And then there's the multi-action that can just
do anything.
So 6 of the 8 actions, or technically 6 of the 7 different actions, are moving tracks, with the unique one being moving around on the planet board.
Yeah. So I actually started off pretty strong in this game, and then I just completely crumbled, and it has to do with me not focusing on one thing.
Yeah, Paul did everything.
and that's what it was.
100%.
That's exactly what it was. But I started off really well. I started off moving my planet, moving up the yellow track, and then I pretty much gave up on the yellow track, and I shouldn't have. I don't know. I thought it was good. Yeah, Jeff, I feel like the gameplay is fairly straightforward. I did like it. It was good. It's unfortunate that a lot of people are not going to play the game just because of how bad it is, rulebook wise. And honestly, I read something on the forums the other day was like, it's unfortunate that no 2 people are probably going to have the same game of this ever, because they're going to interpret rules differently. So even there, like, you're just never going to be able to really compare it across different people. I thought it was good. I would definitely play it again. That's how I feel about it. I know you'd play it again.
Yeah, I will. My biggest worry in the game is I think the game is so unbalanced when it comes to the little. There's blue tiles and red tiles tokens, and they're just whack. Right, 1 can be earning 1 point, and 1 can be like a game busting get another person, which is a whole nother action. And it's like there's no rhyme or reason. And so I say that because, again, I had a great play. My first 2 of those were getting people, right? So like in round one, I have 2 extra people, and Joe has 1 extra point, right?
Yeah.
Like that
not
was
equivalent
that
at
was
all.
not at all balanced. And then like one of Joe's late game ones, the red are supposed to be the more powerful ones, are also getting a person.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I got
that was my
round
starting
one.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Like, and so one, I got tons of those. Like because
you got very lucky
because
with
of the
those.
tracks that I was going up, I just got tons of those blue tiles. So I had what I think are all the game breaking, busting things. And truthfully, I think that is going to always be the experience. Whoever gets the better of those tiles is going to snowball and win the game.
Yeah, that's very true.
So I'll play the game again. Hopefully I'll be on that side and have fun. But I think if I see that again, regardless of which side I'm on, that'll be the last time I ever play the game, because I'm like, I'll confirm, yeah, that wins the game, right? Like a person gets the better one. Some of them are like free actions, free bumps up tracks,
free movements.
On top of that, right? Everybody in the rulebook, everybody gets a starting mining. Again, Joe got one that was 1 point. I got one that was a completely free movement of my ship, right? That's like an action. And Joe got 1 point. So I think the game is like ultimately just very imbalanced.
I think it was busted, just rushed.
And depending on which side you are on that is going to be your enjoyment level of it.
Yeah, I think that's I think the idea of the game was good. It was just rushed with the rule book, with all those imbalances. Probably not play tested enough, but I don't know. I think it was a decent game overall. Unmatched, Tales to a Maze. I want to play this one more. I definitely want to play this one more. I really enjoyed my playthrough of it. I thought it was good.
Did you play the Brothers Murph characters?
I was going to, but I recorded it I did the solo for our channel. And I really considered doing the Brothers Murph. And I was just like, no, I think Golden Bat will get more views. That was honestly kind of my thought. I was like, I don't think the Brothers Murph are going to get that. No one's going to click on it for them.
Who is Golden Bat? That guy has to be less known.
Well, it's on the thing. It's on Tales to a Maze. It's one of the box ones. But I will be playing with the Brothers Murph on my next playthrough of the game. I actually played the Martian side, which was really cool. I did that once at the very beginning and didn't really enjoy it that much, but I really enjoyed it this time. I thought it was a lot of fun, just putting down the little Martians and having them increase that threat. But yeah, it was good. It made me kind of wish I would have backed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, just to have that one. So I don't know.
Same thing.
It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Just
boss battler type of thing.
You're fighting Shredder. Some of the minions are Bebop and all of them. So it just seemed really cool. Wormholes. So instead of playing Glass Road after Broom Service, we played Wormholes.
We did play Wormholes.
I'm terrible at this game. That's what it comes down to. I am so bad at this game.
Paul rushed the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like literally rushed it. Like went out tagging a bunch of planets.
Yeah. And got destroyed.
Yeah.
I
think this game is really cool, and I think with multiple players it was a lot of fun to use people's wormholes. And I gave Kirsten the hardest time for her like first wormhole placement. I'm like, I was literally like, why'd
you put that
like
there?
It was totally like it made no sense to me. And then I used it
so many times,
having to pay her a point for it.
And you know she was so happy about you having to use her wormhole every time.
Yeah. But I thought it was great at multiple players. This game is really clever and fun, and just a very simple, like.
Yeah, it's a simple pick up and deliver game.
That's girls understood it like right away.
Yeah,
like,
understood it better than me apparently.
Yeah, Paul did not understand this game in the slightest.
Yeah, I've played this game multiple times, and I'm just not good at it. I don't know.
You do the same thing every time.
I know.
Tag planets thinking, oh, I'm going to get these little 2-point bonuses every time.
Yeah, I want the quick reward. That's exactly what I do. I don't know. It's fun, though. It's a good, I don't know, probably 45-minute game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. And that's it.
Back to the top.
That is it. That was a long one. We had a lot of games to talk about this time. Won't have nearly as much in December, I feel like.
And I highly doubt it with the holidays and whatnot that we'll have much.
Yeah, play some more with our families and stuff like that. But yeah, that was a very good month. We haven't had a month like that, I think, since last November. So we have quite a few more games, I think, that we just picked up. That hopefully we'll play relatively soon. I think we will.
That's always the plan. Truth is, we picked up like 10 games and we'll play 2 in the next 6 months.
Well, we have one of them set up on the table right now, so that is one that we'll get. Let's see, for the rest of this month, what do we have planned? So we're out next Friday. Both of us have a race that we're doing. We need to finish our...
Yeah, so the next time we're streaming, we're doing
Inventors in South Tigris.
Finish that out.
Speakeasy is one that we talked about streaming.
And then that's probably it, because if I had to guess, then it's Christmas after that.
Yeah, I'm not sure when falls on what. Yeah, the 6th is a Saturday, the 5th is a Friday.
So the 5th, then the 12th, then the 19th, and then, after that would be the 26th. So, we probably only have 2 times. So my guess is going to be we'll do Inventors, and then we'll do Speakeasy.
Yep, sounds about right. And then...
it'll definitely be a down the slow month for sure on games.
We've got our top 5 of 2025. There you go. That's what it's called. Top 5 of 2025.
Check that out.
We'll have that coming up this month.
Any of these games we just talked about made the list.
Sure, a couple of them will. And then we'll do our top new to me games of before 2025, of not 2025. New to me games. And we've got another list coming out also. So I'll do a solo playthrough of 10, most likely on Tuesday, hopefully, as long as everything comes good on the edit on there. And then, we'll figure out the rest then. So that's all that we got. It's been over 2 hours. We appreciate you guys staying here for that long, hearing us talk about that many games. But that's all we got. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff really does help. John, have a good weekend as well.
And enjoy Fate of the Fellowship. On Monday,
But that's it. We will see you guys next time. Have a good one.